Russia's defense ministry claims to have found evidence of chemical weapons used by terrorists in Aleppo. Lizzie Phelan's got more.
The Russian Ministry of Defense, in a statement released today, have said that they've uncovered this new evidence of chemical weapons use from the 1,070 apartments area of South Aleppo, which, despite coming back under the control of pro-government forces, is still subjected to regular attack by rebel forces. Now, the Ministry of Defense have said that officers from the Russian Radiological, Chemical and Biological Defense Troops Scientific Center have collected 9 samples, including fragments from mines and soil from craters, which they say confirms that both white phosphorus and chlorine gas has been used in the weapons that rebels are using on their frequent attacks on civilian areas in the government-held western parts of the city. The Russian Ministry of Defense spokesman General Igor Konashenkov also complained that the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, or the OPCW, has so far offered no cooperation in regards to these allegations. It's not the first time that the Ministry of Defense have alleged chemical weapons use. They did so also earlier this month.
Despite the invitation to work together, the Organisation for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons has not yet sent its experts to Aleppo. However, this does not prevent some OPCW members from remotely placing blame and failing to recognise the facts of the use of chemical weapons in Aleppo against the civilian population.
Now, both the government and the opposition for some time now have been trading accusations about chemical weapons use. When I was in the government-held West Aleppo in September, I met doctors from the public hospitals there who said that they'd received many cases of victims of rebel shelling who had displayed symptoms of having inhaled chlorine gas. But back to these allegations from the Ministry of Defense today, we will indeed be waiting to see if the OPCW indeed responds or reacts to this evidence that the Russian Ministry of Defense says that it has collected.
Syrian army's infantry attacked Jaish al-Islam positions in the villages of Hosh al-Dawara and Midani in eastern Ghouta. The advance was supported by warplanes and artillery units. Pro-Turkish militants, supported by the Turkish Armed Forces and the Kurdish YPG, also described as the SDF in the media, have moved closer to military confrontation over the key town of Al-Bab in Aleppo province. The YPG advanced east of Al-Bab in order to prevent the Turkish-led forces from encircling the ISIS-controlled town, and succeeded in this. Clashes between Turkish forces and the YPG were reported in Kavazin. Some YPG sources announced that the group is also going to advance on Al-Bab. On November 17th, Russian strategic Tu-95MS strategic bombers carried out cruise missile strikes on ISIS and al-Nusra targets in Syria from the Mediterranean. The missiles hit terrorist command posts, weapons, ammunition depots and various military equipment in the provinces of Homs and Idlib. The air grouping deployed at Khmeimim Air Base and Su-33 fighter jets from the Admiral Kuznetsov heavy aircraft carrying missile cruiser also struck terrorists. On November the 18th, government forces stormed Jaish al-Fatah's defences in the Sheikh Said neighbourhood of Aleppo city. Intense clashes have been ongoing there. Abu Ali Jawad, a person close to the Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah, was photographed in the southern part of the Syrian city of Aleppo when he was visiting Hezbollah fighters deployed there. Abu Ali Jawad is head of Nasrallah's bodyguard team and is married to the leader's daughter. His visit to southern Aleppo confirmed the high presence of the group's members there and the reports about the recently deployed reinforcements to the area.
The Russian Defense Ministry says at least 30 terrorists have been killed in airstrikes in Syria's northwestern province of Idlib. The ministry said that in a statement that all those killed belong to the al-Nusra Front. It is the official al-Qaeda branch in Syria. One of the dead was reportedly a senior commander tasked with preparing and launching attacks against the Syrian army in Aleppo. Russia has begun a new round of air raids and missile attacks against extremists from its aircraft carrier Kuznetsov that arrived in the Mediterranean last week. The offensive is mostly focused on Homs and Idlib provinces. Idlib is one of the remaining bastions of foreign-backed militants in Syria.